Chris.
Ready? Here we go.
Yep, let's go. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Loan Officer Breakfast Club. Glad to have you here. We got Kevin Broughton in the house this morning, so that's going to be, kind of fun. Should be okay. He's at a Dunkin' Donuts, my friends. That's right. So he's getting his caffeine and sugar on right now.
We might be in big trouble because not only do we have Kevin Broughton having us run through a brick wall, but we've got Kevin Broughton powered by Dunkin' Donuts. So that's a whole another level.
I know, and he's going to be doing his engagement with us, we'll call it, from the Dunkin' Donuts. Are you in Scottsdale, Kevin? Is that where you are?
I'm in Goodyear, Arizona.
Goodyear. All right. So anyway, I was just telling, in the green room, I was saying, well, everybody that's in the Dunkin' Donuts, all the employees, they're going to sell more donuts than they've ever sold in their life right now. You know what I mean?
Totally motivated, man.
I don't know what's going on, but this guy over here's got me all riled up. So, we were talking about
the mortgage industry.
We were talking about Carl. I was like, "Where's Carl, man?" And then Jen said, "Oh, he's on that train ride. If you guys remember, he's going from wherever, across the country on the train, and back." And then Kristen, you were saying how much you think trains are cool, to ride the train, and I agree. Out here we have Amtrak, and it's really cool. I'm sure it's everywhere, but I've ridden Amtrak, a handful of times. And anytime I've ridden it, it's always been a really cool experience. I like it because you kind of just chill. You know what I mean? You got the Wi-Fi going, you got a food cart, whatever, so you can do all that. One time, me and Brian were at some speaking event somewhere. It was fairly local, and we decided, let's take the train. Okay, so we take the train. And on the way back, heading back to, there's actually in our neck of the woods near us, there's actually in the city of Ackerville where we live, there's a train Amtrak station here. There's a train, right? So we were coming back, and we're zipping along, and then all of a sudden we feel kind of the brakes, hit, and then the train just comes to a stop, and we're in the middle of nowhere, right? We're on this Amtrak in the middle of nowhere, and we're like, what the heck is going on? And everybody's like, what's going on? The whoever they are, the guys, that tend to you, the assistants. Are kind of going back and forth on the car. And we stop and we go, hey, what are we doing, man? And he goes, oh, yeah, we hit somebody. Did I tell you this story before?
No.
Yeah, we go like...
You told us the butt cheek story. You didn't tell us.
Okay, yeah, well, so the guy says, yeah, we hit somebody. And we go, like, what? Like, we hit somebody? We're in the middle of nowhere, right? He goes, yeah, no, we ran into somebody, a person. We hit a person. And we're like, and to him, it was like, no big we're just hit somebody. I'm like, we're like, you hit somebody? And he goes, yeah, it happens kind of regularly. You get maybe the homeless or whatever. They're just wandering around and they wind up trying to cross the track when the train's coming and we wind up hitting people. It happens, So we're like, oh my God, sure enough, they had to, emergency people rolled in, picked up some person and took them away. And then we were back on our way.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Kind of sad.
It was, but it was just just bizarre to, like, oh, we're stopped because we literally hit a person, I don't know. Kind of a weird way to start the show. But,
we have like a vintage train company, like one town over from where we are.
Yeah.
And they redid the whole like vintage train station and they redid the train and my niece had her engagement party on it. So they literally had tables with food and champagne and they just, I don't know, drove around, beautiful scenery, or not drove around, whatever you do on the train, right?
Drove around.
And that, yeah. And then we got to a point where they just put it in reverse and we went back and it was lovely.
Yeah, trains are cool. Trains are cool. Not when they hit
Did
people.
Did you ever flatten the quarter on the tracks?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, pennies, quarters, whatever. Yeah, put it on. Yeah, we lived very close to it when we were kids, very close to the tracks, and we would always do that. We got real crazy too. We put 2x4s, on the track, whatever, Those engineers or whoever, they probably just, oh God, these kids. What's next? Oh, great, a 2x4.
They're right.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, a 2x4 will not derail a train. It doesn't.
Good to know.
Just goes right over it. Yeah, just goes right over it. So you ever thought that was a a strategy or a tactic. It won't work.
You wonder
Hey,
why
man,
people get hit by trains. You were playing on the tracks as a kid.
That's right.
I know. I'm shocked we didn't get hit by a. We were always out there noodling around. So hey, man. Okay, so before we get to the big show, how about did you guys who had their corned beef and cabbage last night in the chat? What'd you guys have? Did you have the fancy Irish dinners? Who had them? I'm curious. And I just in the green room again. I said, you know what I had, Chris, for dinner last night?
What's that?
I had 2 hot dogs that were left over from Sunday.
Oh, while
Yeah.
you was talking to Shanika,
Wow.
when she got home,
Like dinner of
the
champions.
people
Dinner
call
of
me, the
champions?
executive people call me.
Here we go. Got him. What was that,
Got 'em.
Chris? Sorry.
Oh, it was a dinner of champions.
A dinner of champions, indeed. Yeah. No, it was actually not bad. When it comes to hot dogs, I'm just kind of a mustard guy. I don't know about you guys. I like a loaded up hot dog once in a while, like when I'm going through the Chicago airport or something like that. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness. I cannot imagine traveling with a hot dog in my stomach. That sounds horrible.
But at home, man, I'm just mustard on a dog. I like it. I like it simple. So
Plain and simple.
yeah. Nobody said
Ooh,
shepherd's
somebody
pie.
had Jameson's Black Barrel casket strength. Oh boy.
Cask strength.
I think
Huh.
you meant casket, or
Sounds
she meant
strong.
casket. Yeah, whatever it is, it sounds strong.
It does. Indeed, indeed. So, all right. Well, what else is cooking before we get going here? I want to shoot the breeze a little bit before we launch with Mr. Kevin. So
I
let's
would
see.
love to hear. So, I mean, I'm just loving what Carl and the team is putting out about the whole like title company thing. This is genius. Do we have any wins in the chat of anybody that's going through the process and doing call stars? Like Jen, how's that going?
All-Stars is good. We just have a group of folks that are on there. They're dedicated and they're getting the stuff done. It's exciting to watch.
It only like you make the calls, it works.
Mm-hmm.
Make the calls, it works.
So the title thing, I know we've talked about before. Is that going on in the Alliance right now? Is that what you're talking about? Is that kind of the thing that's cooking there, or what?
Well, I can't spill the beans on it. I think somebody
all
should
right.
set
No,
up a
we've
call with
talked
Kristen
about it.
We're not
and talk
bean
about
spilling.
it. That's-
We've talked
Gotcha.
about it on like the complete loan officer. It's a new strategy, and I think we've talked about it on here a little bit.
Oh no, I know we've talked about it here,
yeah.
but I didn't know we've got that kind of moving in the system right now.
Yeah,
It's
he's
being
got it all put up on
loaded
the
around.
website. The
Yeah.
whole strategy is written out, and
Actually,
for our members, all you have to do is go on the website and you can download everything for it.
and I think there might be an opt-in for non-members as well to just
Yeah, I
purchase
think you're
titles.
right.
Yeah.
Really? There is?
Mhm.
Well, if we can dig that up before we get on out of here, we'll give it to
Kristen,
you
if
guys.
somebody wants a call with you, what do? Is there a link for that?
Yeah. It's just dailysuccessplan.com.
Cool.
And
Okay.
they'll get on my calendar. People can always email me too.
But
Kristen.
in a nutshell, what is the remind us of the title thing? Somebody, Chris or whoever, what in just a basic kind of snippet
Sure.
of it.
Sure. So it's you reach out to the title company that you work with, right?
Mm.
Ask them for any of their refinances or purchases.
Oh, okay, that's right. So
Ask
you're
them
you're
for a list of their clients that they've worked with, and then you call them to get
and
them
people are
back
getting
involved.
these lists from these title
Oh
companies.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Even
yeah,
with
yeah.
phone numbers.
Yeah.
And
Fascinating.
of course, I'm going to turn it into a funnel.
Of
Like
course.
obviously you
For
should have your
sure.
power dialer and you should make your phone calls, but then like put them into an ongoing sequence to generate more of those appointments. Like I just love how the two come together. So I was just
We actually have a new call star blitz coming up. What we're going to do.
Oh, when? When's next Call Star Blitz?
The 31st of March.
Oh, okay. Those are always awesome. Okay,
Yeah, and
good.
we have a link for that. I just threw it in the chat. And what you're going to get with the Call Stars Blitz is the title company strategy. So you can use that to, of course, Carl thinks everything, right? We're going to do
I
a
was
Call
gonna say
Stars
it's all
Blitz, but
coming
here we're gonna
together
give you
now.
we're going to give you a strategy to employ something different, that you haven't been doing. So if you do that, join MMA Call Stars link. If you're not a member, if you are a Mortgage Marketing Animals member at any level, you're going to get all this. So don't pay extra.
Awesome.
But it's all coming together. Now it's all making a whole lot of sense. See, we didn't even plan this, and here it is. Now we've rolled out this thing. So the links are there. If you want to talk to Kristen, dailysuccessplan.com. If you want to be a part of the Call Stars coming up at the end of the month, where we're actually going to execute this title strategy, join MMAcallstars.com. Join MMAcallstars.com, because you can sign up for that Call Star session. Is what you can do if you're not a member.
As part of that, at that one day that you get to join Call Stars for the entire day and do it with all of us, we're going to give you, or Carl's going to give you, some videos and the strategy and the scripts to do the title company refi strategy.
Right. But remember, if you're a member, don't do the join MMA Call Stars link. You are already in.
If you're a member, you're ready to go. Yeah, you don't need it. So, but wow. Okay. Well, Kevin Broughton, what do you think about that? I didn't even know that was going to happen this morning, and here we go. Are you there, Kevin Broughton? Because if not, Gen Z, you're doing this show.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Well, let's bring you up, Mr. Kevin Broughton. Once again on this Loan Officer Breakfast Club. Last time you were here, we had three things: clarity, focus, and execution, right?
Yep.
And then I sent an email out with focus, not clarity, because I didn't have clarity on the sequence. So, but we're going to do clarity today. So we're going to do a 3-part series every Wednesday. This Wednesday, clarity. Next Wednesday, focus. The Wednesday after that, execution. Brought to you by Kevin Broughton from a Dunkin' Donuts in Arizona. So good stuff, man. What do you got, brother?
I appreciate you having me, buddy. And yeah, last Tuesday when we were on together, we talked about, for many people on this call, the need to get results faster, right? And I don't know anyone that I deal with that doesn't want results faster. Most of us here in sales are in a now world. We don't want to wait. We want stuff today. And obviously it got me thinking about what could I bring to the gang that's of value. And I started thinking about what I did in January of 2022 when the market started to slow down. And so for those of us that have been on in the industry for at least 6 years, we went through the greatest 2 years in the history of the mortgage industry and saw rates dip to 2.625 or whatever they got to, and every single person you ran into in the supermarket or the gym or the church could benefit from your service. And people that I know made more money than they've ever dreamt of making. And it was a wonderful time for our industry. And then immediately the punch bowl was taken away from everyone, and the government-induced low interest rates ended, and rates escalated at a pace that we had never seen before. And it changed a ton of people's lives. And I ran around every day during that time saying, don't spend the money, don't spend the money, don't spend the money, live normal, no Cadillacs and country clubs, just, live normal. And some folks did and saved a lot, and some folks didn't. And the ones that didn't were left saying, what happened, And I don't know one person that didn't impact in the United States mortgage market. And I started thinking, well, how do I get results faster? And I started thinking of what Carl has been teaching me since 2012. And I came up with something that worked for me. And I think maybe some folks on this call are in this predicament right now. But I talk to loan officers every single day of my life. I talk to over 1,000 loan officers per year, every year. And the lack of clarity is shocking to me. And I've always said that you're president and CEO of Me Inc. And there's not one loan officer on here that isn't. Every single person on here who wakes up every morning, unemployed basically every morning, and needs to, find a client, has to have clarity. If you're the president and CEO of Me Inc., and I asked how many loans are you going to close this year, which I asked to almost every loan officer I ever talked to, I almost never get an answer. People say, I don't know, maybe 10, maybe 100. I don't know, 40. And I say, really, 40? Well, I guess I just said a number because you wanted a number. That's not clarity. And if you want results faster, that's not going to get them for you. And so to me, it really is a 3-part thing, because you might be great at focus and you might be able to execute, but if you have no clear roadmap of where you're going, I don't know if you're going to get there, or you might get to the wrong place, even if you're a dedicated worker. So for me, clarity is insanely important. And there's someone on this call, I'm not going to call them out by name, but I've never seen a more clear person. They will close 120 units this year. They will close $39.9 million this year. And there's no prayer in the world of that not happening due to their clarity, because clarity is an understanding and documenting of your targets clearly and determining the why behind those documented facts. Like if it's just to, I don't know, make a lot of money, that's not really a good thing. When it's just about money, I'll often hear someone say, oh, I'm working so hard because I'm going to get an Escalade. Well, what do you drive now? A Tahoe. You're not going to work any different because there's no difference in those cars. It's not a big enough difference to move the needle, you know? And so the why, we've heard about the why for decades, right? But do we really understand that? Do we really dissect it? Is it really authentic to us? Is there really a why behind your work efforts? And to some people I know, it's so clearly defined that it never derails their work ever. And others, it's so loosely defined, their work efforts are so haphazard, and it's not really rocket science. It's pretty easy to figure out who is clear on the mission and who is not. And if you are not, I couldn't recommend any higher the necessity to get clear. And clarity is not just around how much money. Clarity is around things like your values, your goal setting, and your wealth. Those are three things that determine clarity. When I say wealth, I don't necessarily just mean how much money is in the bank, but wealth to me is the ability to do what you want, when you want, with whom you want. I'm sitting in Phoenix, Arizona at 5:30 in the morning at a Dunkin' Donuts right now because I'm going to see my kid pitch in spring training. I live in Michigan. I have the freedom to work wherever the hell I choose to. And I choose, because of the clarity of my being, to work out here now. And so I'm going to stay out here until spring training ends, until the Michigan weather improves, because I don't want to sit in that crappy weather. But I'm clear on my mission. Like just on a personal level, we will add 60 loan professionals to my company this year. It's not a wish or a prayer or it might happen or whatever. It is what we strive for and do 8 hours a day, 250 work days a year. It's not open for negotiation. It's not we might get there. It's not, I don't know. It come hell or high water, we're getting there. We're already ahead of pace for the first quarter, which I love because I love being ahead of pace because then I'm not chasing every day. And so I really want to spend some time today with loan originators challenging themselves to really be honest with yourself on how clear are you in 2026? How clear are you with the mission? Is it non-negotiable? Is it important enough to you? What happens if you don't hit it? Is there a consequence? And I just don't see that with tons of loan officers I talked. I hope I close 36. What do you mean you hope you close 36 loans? What do you need to fund your life? What do you need to fund your retirement? What do you need to achieve the goals that you've set forth that are important to you? And how do you work backwards from that? You can't say I'm going to close 120 loans and then just pray to God and live on a drug of hopium and hope that the phone rings 10 times a month with people that need to borrow money. You have no chance of that coming true. So what are your daily activities? And next week when we get into focus, we're going to talk about how to remove obstacles and remove roadblocks so that you can actually focus. We live in a noisy world, and I'll get into that next week, but focus is not easy, especially for a lot of high-producing salespeople. I have a little ADHD going on some days, you know, and thank God I have Sophie, my assistant, who literally keeps me in check every hour of every day. She's constantly needling me and saying, do this, do this, do this, do this. You're going to do this. You're not going to leave today till you call these people. You're not going to do this till you finish this list. It's every day. I'm held accountable at the highest level probably of anyone on here because failure is not an option. It's non-negotiable that we will hit our goals. That is a fact. And so I urge everyone to really take some time today, or I don't know when you do it, but it's already, you know, the end of March almost, so you better start doing it now if 2026 is important to you. But are you crystal clear on where you're headed? You either are or you're not. And if you're not, I highly suggest that you change that, because all the focus and execution in the world isn't going to do anything if you're not clear on where you're headed. So I know it sounds a little cliche, but it's not. And the whole reason behind Carl's DSP is to help you have the clarity in your life come true by doing the tasks that matter. If you ever want to really look at your life and put a stopwatch around your neck and only turn it on when you're doing a high leverage activity that creates, keeps, or grows a client, and turn it off when you're doing something else, some people on here only work 3 hours a week. But they say I work 50 and I'm busy. I'm busy. I'm busy. I hate busy. Anyone who knows me knows I hate being busy. I love being productive, and I take 2 hours of productive over 8 hours of busy any day of the week.
Oh, so
But we trick ourselves, and the reason we're able to trick ourselves is we have lack of clarity. If you are so clear on the mission that you must close 10 loans, not have 10 loans, must close 10 loans every 30 days, which is only 21 business days, then you know you need whatever that is for your closing ratio, 16 loans a month. Well, okay, if you have 21 business days to generate 16 loans, that means every 4 days, you better have 3 people saying, I need to borrow money and I'm willing to fill out a form that says so. I don't know if you're that clear, but I really think it's the number one foundational building block to long-term success is the clarity of mission. So that's why I really wanted to talk about this today, Frank, because I just see every day a lack of clarity. And I don't think General Motors guesses how many cars they might sell this year. I just don't. I think they have a strategic, accelerated plan to ensure that they sell X amount so that they cover this amount of overhead so that they generate this kind of profit. And to me, that's where it all starts. So if you're a loan originator and you don't have full clarity of where you're headed, the best way to get clarity is to be crystal clear on what your why is and is it meaningful enough. And hopefully it's for the greater good or for your family and not for a material good. I've not seen a lot of work habits change to simply have a cooler set of golf clubs or a bigger TV or a cooler car. I just don't, I don't see work habits change. For me, it was twofold. I wanted to be able to do things with my son that most dads can't do. I'd like to see every game he ever pitches. And that's not a reasonable goal for many, many dads, but it is for me. And that's why I do what I do. I also want to be in a position where I work simply because I like to, not because I have to. And I look at the aging population of loan originators and I ask a lot of people, are you all set up for retirement? And the vast majority of people are not, or at least the ones I talk to tell me they aren't. And so that can be your why, to be able to be in a position of work because you want to, not because you have to. But whatever your why is, it's personal and it's individual, and that's none of my business. But have one, because a clarity around your why does dictate how you work. If there are no consequences to inaction, inaction often becomes the norm. And I hate lack of consequences. There must be consequences for poor results. This is a results contest, whether we like it or not, and we live in a world that rewards speed. So I think we got to get on this today. I don't know anyone who says I need to borrow money and just get back to me when you can, or if you're a realtor, I got to sell my house and I don't care how long you take to sell it. This is a fast world and we got to be adaptive to it. I think everyone knows that the biggest transformation in the mortgage industry that I've ever seen in my 30 years doing this is what happened on July 31st of last year when Rocket Mortgage acquired Mr. Cooper and then Redfin 8 hours later. And I think what they were throwing down the gauntlet saying is this is a first to first. I don't have to be good at loans. I got to be first to the consumer. And that's, to me, a fact. And that's why we must use AI. And that's why we must use the Chris Johnstone type stuff. And that's why we must use the tools and the strategies that exist in our lives to get to that consumer first. But that can be part of your clarity. To get to my database first with something meaningful. To send them a recipe card the day after Thanksgiving on what to do with the leftover turkey. That's not going to move the sales needle. It's just not. And so to me, clarity really matters. And I know it's easy to brush off clarity because it's more sexy to talk about focus and execution. But I think your greatest strategic asset is how you think. You want different results? Change your thinking and you'll change your results. And so that kind of stuff to me is the important stuff. And the journey starts with clarity. And I find a lot of people lack it and they work hard and then they're not unhappy with the results. And it's normally due to the starting point. They didn't have a clear roadmap of where they were headed. So I don't have a ton more than that on that topic. I just think it's really important.
Well, I know it is. And we just got a few minutes left. I'm curious about if you guys in the chat or if you want to raise your hand to dovetail onto this, because my question would be then for everybody is, okay, if we haven't really established the clear roadmap, I need to do this much business, right? And the why, and the reason why I need to do this much business, is this. That needs to get resolved right today. We have to be very, very clear about that. But then how do we keep that front and center? I'm curious how you guys do it. Is it a sticky on the wall? Is it a something on the desk? Is it to stay focused and remember, to keep that clarity there? This is why I'm doing, this is what I need to do, and this is why. How do we go about, it's not just, maybe it is for a lot of people, just, every day it's just in your head at the beginning of the day, middle of the day, and the end of the day. Maybe it is, but does anybody use any tactics or methods to keep that front and center, and what that might be? Sharon, how do you do that? Or do you do that now?
Oh, I do that. Definitely do that. I've got my goals all set out. I know how much I need to close each month. I know what the average loan amount needs to be. I know all of that stuff, and I keep up with it every single day. But I think that, if you want to do this, you don't have to start with, I want to close $50 million. I want to close $40 million. You don't have to start with those numbers or 10 million or whatever it is. That's a big number. And it's overwhelming to start with that. And you're like, how do I get there? But I think you have to break it down into, down to the month, and then down to the week, and then down to the day. And if you're clear on your goal every day, that you have to get 2 leads or 3 leads or 4 leads. I want 4 leads a day. So if I get 4 leads a day, no matter what, those leads are going to convert, because I know what my conversion percentage is too. But if you just break it down to the activity of the day, and if you just work on that one activity, just get leads, and then convert those leads, then those closings are going to come. So you don't have to look at this great big number that's overwhelming. You just have to break it down into a daily activity, which is like our daily success plan, just a daily activity. How am I going to get those leads? Whether it's with the call stars or it's, I mean, I've got a system that I use too. It's all based on the daily success plan, but I make calls. I know who I'm going to call, and I know who I'm going to ask for business. I don't call to get an appointment at this point in my career. I call to get a loan. I call to get a lead. So that's my goal, is to get 4 leads a day, because I know if I get 4 leads a day, I get 100 leads a month. I convert at 71%. That's 25 loans that I can work on with 25% fallout, then, or 20% fallout, then I can close 20 loans a month. That's my goal. So I have it all broken down to, and what do I need to get 20 loans? I got to have 100 leads. How do I get 100 leads? I get 4 a day. So just break it down to daily activities.
That's awesome. That's great.
Clarity.
Thank you,
I couldn't
Sharon.
agree with her more. I couldn't agree with her more about the daily mindset. And that's why we have a DSP. That's it. But you happen to have just heard from the most focused loan originator I've ever met. And so it's not shocking to me that she's crystal clear on the daily mission, because she removes all distraction every single day. I know this lady personally, and she's unbelievable. But like she said, she calls for leads, not appointments. And so she's crystal clear on what her mission is today.
Sharon, that's so good. Thank you for sharing.
Does anyone, I know we're at the top of the hour, just curious if does anybody struggle with clarity, the why? Like, does anybody struggle with that? Does anybody feel like this is a hard thing to figure out? I'm just curious.
I think it's a hard thing. I think it's a hard thing for everybody, Frank. I mean, we have so many we're in a notification centric society, right?
Oh, yeah.
Stuff screaming at us from every angle of everything.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're hired to be a mortgage loan originator to originate loans. And so you really have to look at, what activity am I doing today to make that happen? And like Sharon said, she's at the point now where she's not calling for appointments. She's calling to get a loan. But there could be others on this call who right now, they need to call to get the appointments, to build the relationships to get the loan. But it all comes down to, what offer are you making today that's going to drive you towards that? And I think it's very easy to be busy all day long.
Kristen, hey, Chris, I noticed you put your the link to the loaibook.com. Still taking pre-orders?
Yeah, but that was a mistake. I
Oh.
went to put a comment to Sharon and I had typed that in earlier. Anyway, but yes. So
Okay, I was like, this is a good moment to drop that in. By the way, don't miss on your subscription or your pre-order. But it's true. loaibook.com. But Kristen, what I was going to ask you is in the membership, we can help, right? Get this figured out. I mean, this is Kevin, this would be the starting point, right? Wouldn't you say this is numero uno? This is the tip of the spear to get things going in the Sharon direction, right? Yes. This is it. So and Kristen, we have help for everybody if they need help. Craig, what do you got, buddy?
Let me mute myself, and that'll help out. A lot of times loan officers during the daytime, they're working on those shiny objects. They're going, hey, I'm going to work on my CRM today. Yeah. I'm going to go work on this. I'm going to go work on my software. That's the wrong time of the day to do that. Maybe you do that at 5:30 California time or 5 o'clock. You should be on a call like this, or you should do it later during the day. Don't take it away from your prime hours. Your prime hours are for your calling and doing the correct activity. So you can get messed up doing the wrong activity, get results, thinking you're working.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to think about it this way. A blind squirrel will probably find an acorn in 8 hours. Why can't we find a loan?
Right.
And it might sound like we're being hard, and maybe Kevin sounds like he's being hard. He's not. This is reality. In the early part of the business, I used to trick my brain and say, I'm unemployed. What do I do?
Yeah.
At a job, they tell you what to do. They tell you when to take the lunch break, tell you when to take a pee break. They tell you how much you're going to make. And that's all you're going to make. Here, you got to be pretty organized with your life. And one thing you can't get back is your time.
Mm.
And don't be jumping from one thing to another. You can go from a dead stop, be dead in your business, nothing in your pipeline, and you do a consistent 30 days in a row, 3 months in a row, and take a little break in there, you'll get results. But you got to stay focused on it.
Yeah.
If you don't stay focused on it, then it just, unfortunately, it won't happen for you in the business.
Well, and you know what, Craig, for me, there is a very definitive difference, and this is a concept I'm constantly working on, between finding the time to do something and protecting the time to do something.
Exactly right. Protecting your time.
Yeah.
That's a great way of putting it.
Craig Broughton, good to see you, brother.
Thanks for me. I'm blabbing there.
No, you can. Always good to see you and hear from you, man.
I love hearing that. That is awesome. 100% accurate too. Every word he just said is perfectly true.
Yeah. Let's get that link in there, dailysuccessplan.com. If you need some help, guys, you want to reach out to somebody and just get some help, we can help you along. Dailysuccessplan.com. Get on the calendar with Kristen.
And Kevin, I see a lot of things, Frank, in here on the comments about I get distracted. We'll talk about that next Wednesday, because that's what we're going to learn, different ways to focus. Because, again, if you just look at the daily success plan, what are you supposed to do from 9:30 to 11:30 on Monday?
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to put your camera on and do call stars. You're not going to play Candy Crush on your phone if people are looking at you, right? Do the calls. But that's a 2-hour block of focus. What we're asking for is a 2-hour block of focus 4 times a week, or 8 hours a week total, to make more than a doctor, right? Where else can we do this?
Wonderful.
All right.
Kevin Broughton, man, thank you so much, brother. We're super blessed to have you here when you show up, and we're looking forward to next Wednesday.
Thank you for allowing me to be here. I'll be here next Wednesday, bright and early. I don't know where I'll be physically, but if it's 5:30 in the morning, I'll be at Dunkin' Donuts, because my wife doesn't want me waking up.
Wonderful, wonderful. Enjoy your time with your family out there and the boy pitching, man. That is really epic, cool stuff. Really appreciate you, man.
Fun.
So taking the time to go to the Dunkin' Donuts and do this today, we really appreciate you, man.
Hey, Kev, is your son a lefty or a righty?
He's a lefty.
Oh, God, just like my grandson. That's cool watching a lefty.
Yeah.
With the Milwaukee Brewers.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very cool.
All right.
Right on.
I don't know about
All
you,
right.
but I cannot wait for next week to hear about, to get.
I know. Me too. It's
I
going to be
know.
good. Yeah. It's going to be good, man. You know it will. All right. Well, good stuff, guys. Hey, let's get after it. What do you say? You guys want to get after it today? You guys have a great day.
I'm
Get
ready.
the clarity going, man. Get the clarity going on. That's what we need to do today. Yeah. And if you need help, go to dailysuccessplan.com. We can help you with this stuff. You guys have a great day. We'll see you here tomorrow.
Have a great one. Bye.
Loan
great
Officer
day,
Breakfast
everybody.
Club. Brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Animals. We'll see you. Adios.